All right, what's going on, guys? NFL Week 11. We're doing the Domination Station setup stream. We're just going to set up the optimizer, show the basic approaches and techniques that we kind of perfected over the off season and back testing mode. Right? Kanger, maybe it is, right? I heard the news that it looks like they're going to bench Keon Coleman, and so I was out to dinner before, so let me know what you've heard. But I saw a pop up that they're going to bench Keon Coleman. So does that mean they're bringing up Gabe Davis? Is that actually happening? All right, so let's get right into it. Domination Station setup, NFL Week 11. Right, this is the same pretty much every week. So, yeah, this is the same pretty much every week. So we're not going to adjust anything. We're just going to do it exactly how we always do it. So let's jump right in here. The first option that we're always going to do, I'm actually going to, I'm not going to do this the normal way. So one thing about this week is I actually kind of think that it might be a week where if we play Josh Allen, we might not need to stack him. Can I think of any other quarterbacks that don't need to be stacked? I don't know. It was Hardman. Yeah, I think naked, right? So I think naked. So let's. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to change up one little thing from what I normally do. I also think Mahomes can be played naked. So I'm actually going to leave Allen and Mahomes out of the forced stack, but I'm going to include the rest of them. So remember, I'm going to explain what this does, and then I'll explain what the second option does. This is going to set up our stacks, QB wide receiver stacks, right? So we're going to pick every quarterback that basically I will not play unstacked, and we'll put them in here. And I'm even including Pat Mahomes as somebody I think I can play unstacked. So I'm not going to include him there, but we're going to go if QB Matthew Stafford is in the lineup, then stack with no less than one of running back, not running back. We want to go wide receiver, tight end, same team, right? So we're going to set that up. And we're going to do this for every quarterback that is on the radar for this week. If I have a quarterback who I feel like I'm only going to play him double stacked, fine. We'll do that too, but there is no one like that. So we'll go Caleb. Any quarterback that we're even going to allow exposure to, I want to make sure I'm doing this. Everybody else who I'm not doing this with will probably just get unchecked. Or again, there's a couple of QBs I want to kind of leave open to single stacks. Players Club, 25. Yeah, any 40x booster. It does not matter. Don't feel any pressure to spend even a cent more than what you're comfortable with. But it's really the style of the contest. Just hopefully you can get your dopamine hit from turning 25 cents into, I don't know, $8 or whatever the 40x booster does. You know what I'm saying? We got to get our dopamine. I have a song about dopamine. Just thought of it. All right, QB Flacco. Right, we're going to keep going down the list. I got Darnold in there. Yeah, this is not a time for distractions, guys. Got to go through this. Aaron Rodgers, if I let that garbage in a lineup, we got to play him with a stack. McCarthy, I mean, I'll include it, but I'm not excited about McCarthy at all. Jacoby Briskets, no less than one. Actually, with Brissett, we have to actually do a no more than two because Brissett is going to force triple stacks in a lot of the cases. I don't know. No. The sim rule, I'm going to leave the same. If the sim rule forces a stack, I'm cool with it. I just don't want to force it without the sim. So we'll talk about the sim boost and why I feel that way in a second. But if this Penix, I guess we'll include him. No, I want to do no more than. That was only for the one guy. Okay, let's go back to it. No less than one. All right, we're going to put Penix in there as well. Jamo, and Davis Mills, right? In case we choose to make a lineup with any one of these guys. So again, if you've been in these streams with me, normally I just make a single universal rule. Normally I just make a single universal rule, stack QB with no less than one wide receiver tight end. But in the case of this week, because I'm getting a weird unstacked quarterback vibe, I'm going to leave it. So I made it for individual names instead of the whole player pool. All right. Now the second part of this is so much more important, or as important. So that initial stack rule is kind of like a linear stack, like it's forced. This second rule is called the sim boost rule. And what this does, it's designed to simulate game action, right? And it's simulating a game in which we are winning the tournament. So what does that mean? If QB is in our lineup, if a quarterback is in our lineup, we're going to increase projection for running back, tight end, same team by 15%. Now, what is this doing? The sim boost rule says that if the quarterback is going off and winning us a tournament this week, then there's a good chance their pass catchers are at least producing at an elevated level compared to normal. So this boost creates that situation where once the optimizer picks a quarterback for the lineup, now it's going to assume everybody kind of connected to that quarterback, because it's going to assume the quarterback is winning us the tournament this week. And everybody connected to that quarterback is having a better game. And Jared, I did answer it, but I will answer it one more time. So with this one, your question was, yeah, there's no difference between the dollar amount. When we're talking about a booster, we're talking about a booster. 40x 25 cents, 40x $4, 40x 27. It does not matter. It's more important kind of the range of lineups that you put something in. I want you to experience turning your entry amount 40 times, 40x, because in tournaments, the whole point of that whole thing in the Players Club today was, the explanation was, in tournaments, you finish in the top 1%, that 25% cents turns into 75 cents. Like, it ain't shit. It only works. You got to do the multipliers. That gives you the best bang for your buck, right? It takes away the variance of finishing in first place out of 50,000 people, which is what we're trying to do here today, by the way. So again, back to this. So if QB is in lineup, increase projection for wide receiver, tight end, same team, 15%. And then let's add a statement. This is for the opposing team, RB, WR, TE, opposing team. And we give them a much smaller boost. In team stacks are where the heaviest correlation happened. There's a lot of game correlation, but it's not needed, right? And the reason I prefer this over preferred stacks, and the reason this works better, is because this only works if the player was already projected pretty well to begin with. Like, when the player's not projected well to begin with, then even boosting them 15% is not going to cause them to show up in lineups. Now, there's an argument we could go 20%, 17, do whatever you want, right? None of these rules are written in stone. You can go 18%, it does not matter. Put it in. 15, 18, doesn't matter. All right. Next, let's get to our secondary set of options. So a couple things I'm going to do here. First of all, fantasy points range. I'm going to just raise this up a little bit to get rid of the garbage from the player pool, right? That little bit that I just did, look at how many, my exclusions were 250, my players 300. Now I raise this up. I'm down to 168 and 388. Now, why would I do that? Because I don't want anybody projected below 4 points. I just don't use those kind of players. So I don't want the optimizer to strain itself by having to look through 10 million players for every single run. So doing this also helps the tool run a lot faster. Put that in tournament mode. I use the props projection. You can use whichever projection system you want. We have the projection, the main, and then the props based, which is effectively just adding up the props for the player and projecting based off of that. Juan Pena, out of that group, I would go with Brissett. Okay. So 3 uniques. 0 versus defense. I'm going to set the number of players, right? 150 lineups. 150 lineups. Flex positions all left the same, guys. Juan Pena, don't trade anybody for Cortland Sutton. He hasn't been good. I'd actually rather have Addison probably than Cortland Sutton. You don't want to trade for Cortland Sutton. You want to trade for someone else. All right. So from here, we get to our player pool. We're going to set cap limits on everything. And we're going to do a whole little bit of work. But the baseline is we go to quarterback, set exposure max 20%. Running back will go 30%. Wide receiver, 35%. This is the exposure max. And this is just going to limit each player to a certain amount of exposure. How do I, oh, that's the best question. How do I change it to black? Put the fork down. That's what's up. All right. Check it out. Right there. See this? Oh, daytime. Nighttime. Ah, better. Top left corner, guys. Okay. Like I don't have a special one just for me. We all use the same one. All right. So that was tight end position. So we set a max exposure 25% and defense. I'm going to go 20%. Guys, that's just step one. Okay. We're almost there. By the way, we've already done enough right here to hit go, run the optimizer. And this set of settings took down tournaments like 2 out of this, just this plain set of settings took down tournaments last year without any kind of adjustment or minimal adjustment. So we've already done enough. So this is part one, but I do like to enhance this a little bit. So from here, I also want to mention that we've got it set to 3 uniques. And eventually when I do my real runs, not for right now, but I'll set the randomization up to about 15 or 20%. For now, actually, I'll just set it around 10%. It'll keep things running nice and smooth. Yeah. Oh, which you guys reminded me. Are you guys not? Don't forget to max out the pocket maxes, guys. Do not ever forget to do that. You got to max that thing out. Max that shit. Okay. Next steps. Next step is going to be kind of dealing with the player pool a little bit. So I'm going to go through this. And if there's any quarterback that I am just like averse to playing completely, Trevor Lawrence. What is this? Lamar at Cleveland, I don't want. I'm not playing Bo Nix. Dylan Gabriel, I'm not playing. I really don't like Baker Mayfield this week. Bryce Young, no. Cam Ward. So I'm just going to remove players that are absolutely not anything that I want to use. I'm not really in love with McCarthy at 15%. So I'll do some other, let's call it trimmings later on. But right now, I'm just making sure I don't have anyone that I completely have zero interest in using. Rashad White, no. You know, some of these names, I'm just not going to use them. So I don't need them in my player pool. Everybody loves Sean Tucker from the show today. If he goes off, I will lose my mind. Same thing with wide receivers. Just going through it, cleaning down my player pool. Gunnar Olszewski. I'm leaving him in. JAMA. The struggle is real, Reed. The struggle is real. What does Burns have to say? Let's see what Burns has to say. Listen, listening to Burns is usually a good idea. Let's see what he's got. Stafford, Purdy, Flacco, Rodgers, McCarthy, Penix, favorite plays, McCaffrey, Jalen Warren. Are we very different anywhere? Yeah. He likes Drake London. T. Higgins. Wandale. Trey McBride. I don't see how we're that different. I don't see how we're that different. All right, back to it. So I'm just going through the player pool, lightening up the load wherever it can be lightened, wherever it needs to be lightened. Sterling Shepard, no. Hopkins, no. Dyke, no. Yeah, it's definitely Flacco day. I mean, I had the most fun so far making Flacco and Brissett lineups. So, I mean, take with that what you will. I don't know that it's going to work out, but I don't know that it's going to work out, but that's what I do. Yeah, I don't like this. I imagine if Brian Thomas Jr. wins it for us. The guy's fucking Q tagging it. Wouldn't that be the most DFS thing ever? Palmer, no. Coker. I'm just removing names if I don't find them anybody that I would use. For the most part, I leave most of the players in the pool anyway. Yeah, tight end you could definitely remove like Jatavian Sanders types. This guy. Yeah, there's a couple turds down here. I want no Evan Ingram. Yeah. So when and why you reduce your ownerships in the final runs. Yes. I'm actually I'll show you what I do with the ownerships now and why. I talked a little bit about it on the Players Club too, but low ownership is the king of winning tournaments. It's low ownership is the end all be all of how to win a tournament. You can make a really good lineup. Like we handcrafted some nice lineups during the Players Club, and we do that every week, and it's great. But in the end of the day, in order to beat out 300,000 people, you have to have done something unique or different. You've got every week some player that we weren't expecting is going to pop off for a monster score almost every time. And so we have to just kind of get like weird and crazy and just luckily fall on that, or just kind of allow the optimizer to find that player. But one of the ways that you do it is by setting the ownership total of the lineup aggressively low. And what that's going to do is force the optimizer to get away from the chalk pieces that we all love and just find some other paths to building high projected lineups. I forgot to reserve them, so I might be screwed on the pocket minis. I totally forgot to reserve them. Not happy about it. All right. So again, dealing with the player pool. I forgot what I was just doing. Let's give this a thing. Let's give this thing a run. Okay. There we go. So we've got all our settings in place. We have our stack rule. We have some rules in terms of player pool, max limits, and everything else. But I'll take it another step further here. When I do the DOM station for NFL and really for MLB, I would say the same thing. I like to control in MLB, it would be the pitcher. For NFL, I like to control for the quarterback position for the most part. So in other words, I'm probably going to click over here and get some quarterbacks that I don't maybe like that much. Like that's a lot of Penix. That's crazy. It's a lot of Mahomes unstacked and Josh Allen, and I kind of like that. That's a lot of JJ McCarthy. Ooh, we're getting a little Jammo. Didn't get a lot of some of these other guys. So from here, I really want to control my player pool. So for example, I didn't even have Penix on my radar, right? But you know what? I can understand playing him against the Panthers. I'm going to allow it, but I'm going to set a cap here of 6%, right? For Mahomes, same deal. Like an unstacked Mahomes, I'll play a little bit of that. 9%. Let's go. You know, same thing with Allen. You know, I'll go 10% Josh Allen unstacked, but that's about it. McCarthy, I'm going to want to be a little under the field on. I kind of am that. So if it starts to spike up past like, I might uncheck him. I actually might uncheck McCarthy. I really don't like playing chalk McCarthy. But I'm not going to do it tonight because tomorrow ownerships will all update. Projections will all update. And that's another reason why this really is just a setup. How are we going to set up this tool? Run it, set your P-owned, but know that there'll be an update tomorrow. Projections will change. There's some shit going on with the Bills wide receivers. So we have a lot to unpack there. Yeah. Penix, just, I don't know. I'll probably uncheck him in the end. Right? I go position by position with this. Okay. So we got our guys. Jamar, Michael Wilson, Keon Coleman. Look, yeah, okay. This guy's not even going to be in the runs tomorrow. I might want to go a little higher on some of these guys. Trey McBride, I want to have, I think like 70% McBride. Like I'm going to get stupid with McBride. I'm going to get rid of on. So I have a lot of player pool stuff that I will be doing between now and when these games actually start. So a lot of this is just how are we setting it up? And then we're able to just click a button, let it go, make a few adjustments, and let her rip for tomorrow's slate, right? It's just preparation. Just a little preparation. Defense is another area where I really like to control for this significantly. Like, am I going to play Broncos defense? No, I'm not playing them. Browns, I do like Texans and Titans, so I'm getting both of the ones that I like the most. Oh, there it is. Hey, that's awesome. I hope you smash that league every week. I really do. All right, back to it. So I'm going to control for defense as well. I always forget to talk about that on the setup streams. I'm not going to let defense control me. I'm controlling for it. Like, I don't like a lot of Browns defense playing the Ravens. I'm just going to uncheck that shit. Browns are not that bad, but the Ravens, they don't really turn the ball over. Yeah, I don't mind a lot of Tennessee. Grim, I am not finding that I love these defenses anyway. So I don't know. I can play some Bears. Like, I'll mix it up. But yeah, remember that Tennessee is facing pencil neck. He's not that good. It's just a pay down. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's a good way to go. My preference is like Texans, but even they're on the road. Who the fuck do you play? It's a tough week for defense. It really is. It's not an easy one. So, yeah, Packers loading up against Jammo. All right, I guess. Bears. Jaguars, nope. Steelers against Flacco. Cardinals, maybe. Bengals, definitely no. So, like, you got to uncheck some of these sometimes. Seahawks, Rams, Vikings, I kind of like. And I kind of like the Bears. But I kind of like the Vikings, too. All right, so, all right, back to it. So now we're kind of getting a little different mix here going on, and this is a good thing. Again, Aaron Rodgers, I can't stomach more than, I don't know, let's call it 3%. I'm going to set a cap there. Let's go 6% on this guy. We're setting some caps. I might even just go a little crazy and roll out the brisket or Flacco, let's say even 20, 25%. Yeah. Ferrari Beats got it right, man. There's a way to do this slate where you only play Flacco. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going Flacco or Brissett. The other thing I did was increase my McBride exposure up to 70%. Dude, I'm loading up on McBride. But notice something else here. Double tight end kind of happening a lot. And that's fine on a week like this where I'm going to have that much McBride. Kind of play double tight end a lot. But I don't love Cade Otton. I do like George Kittle quite a bit. I don't like Cade Otton that much. So he's okay, but like, I don't know, the weather, the whole thing, I guess it's fine. Pitts, I don't like this much either. So we'll have to mix this up a little bit better. Wide receiver group. Yeah. Chase is that much. We have so many adjustments to make here. But for the most part, let's give it another run. I want to show you guys what it looks like the sim boost. You can see it in the player pool. When you're building lineups, you see the sim boost on the projections in real time. It's kind of cool. Here we go, 150. All right, and I'm going to show you guys one more little trick here. But you see the boost. The boost is happening here. Look at the projection. So you got Brissett in there. Look at this beautiful lineup. This one's really good. I can't believe it pulled Jefferson, but in general, Jacoby Brissett, Christian McCaffrey, same game. He's getting a boost, right? You see the bold? That means he's boosted. Jaylen Warren from that Bengals game. Justin Jefferson, random. Parker Washington, also kind of random. Michael Wilson. George Kittle, I love him at the tight end. Kittle McBride, double tight end. With Wilson, all of them got a boost. Titans defense. That's a lineup I would have handcrafted. And that's what I want to see from the domination station. And we're going to take the next step in a second. For the Pocket Cup, should I run just one or two quarterbacks and hope one hits? I mean, no, I think you made a lot. I mean, if you reserved all the Pocket Maxes, that's like 1,500 lineups. So there's enough to spread the love. With your setup numbers be the same or similar for a 20 max? No. And in 20 max, you can't do so. All right, in 20 max, effectively this setup part will be the same, but you can't limit things to 20, 30%. In 20 max, you're going to play 70% wide receiver, 70% of running backs. You're going to have a much higher cap and never ever use more than 2 quarterbacks in 20 max. You should only use 2 or 1. So it's different, right? You're going to uncheck every quarterback that you're not using. You're going to use 1 or 2. You're going to increase allowed exposures to players that are tied to your quarterbacks, specifically either in the game or opposing them. That's how you change it up for 20 max. Pick one kind of game or quarterback and just go all in on that. All right. All right, another trick of the trade. Couple tricks of the trade here. This one's really important. This tab here shows stack combinations. 3 uniques, 3 to 4 uniques in that run. Yeah. By the way, Kijisi, it's especially good when the one quarterback you pick does well. When the quarterback you pick fails, all right, that sucks, but shit, we lose all the time anyway. Who cares? But when you hit right, and by the way, if we've been doing this, like it's Flacco, it would have been Dart. You should have been pretty good with the one quarterback that you've been picking. My favorite quarterback tomorrow, did he? I was waiting for this. I was fucking waiting for this Wellmaker shit. I knew it was coming. I fucking knew it. Sorry. Favorite quarterback tomorrow is it's Flacco. It should be Winston, but it's not. It's Flacco. Love Flacco. Just know what he's going to do. Yeah, it should be Jamo. He is my favorite actual guy, but the Giants just don't have those weapons, and it's a brutal matchup. By the way, 3 to 4 quarterbacks is great. That's not pussying out. That's great. But I don't know if you're doing. I hope you're not doing that for 20 max. That should be for a 150 run. Yeah. How great has Dart been? Like, I feel like we've had such a gift of Dart, and like you just got to accept the good tidings that Dart has brought. Yeah. I don't know how you lost your ass still. But you know, you picked the right captain. Yeah. Low owned naked Allen, guys. That's what we're doing. Low owned naked Allen. No stack. Oh, yeah. So I showed you stack combinations here. We can go through them. And if I start to see that, look what happens. I didn't force double stacks, but look at this. It's giving me some Flacco with Chase, some Flacco with T, plenty of double stacks, a couple triple stacks, and then each of the different guys with with Fant. Nice little mix. Aaron Rodgers, little Metcalf Smith, Metcalf Freiermuth. That's great. This is a nice little mix. So that's what I look for. What does the mix look like? This is what we want to see. Okay. Trey, Wilson Trey, Dortch and Trey. In this one, I made a limit to disallow triple stacks, or else it would triple stack the shit out of these, and that's just way too much. Yeah, and by the way, I would think that Jameis should be good for those two. Yeah. Wandale, who's Hodgins? But wait, I'm thinking, wait, Hodgins? Who the hell's Hodgins? I'm thinking Wandale. Are we out of 2 tight end build? No, we're all about 2 tight ends, Tom Payne, because we're heavy on McBride. So just for that reason alone, you end up being forced to kind of play a lot of double tight end, because McBride effectively isn't a tight end. For me, he's a flex play, no different than a running back. I have mostly Flacco, a few with Caleb. Should I go all Flacco? I mean, if you're running 20 max, I would just do all Flacco. Oh, wow. Okay. Isaiah Hodgins. Tell me more. Convince me about Isaiah Hodgins. Just convince me. I'm here for that. Is Isaiah Hodgins even starting? Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that guy? Oh, Wellmaker. You piece of shit. Sorry. Fucking knew it. It's just it's a fight thing. Yeah. Do I think Greg Dortch? Yeah, I think he's fine. I don't know if he'll be good. I think Michael Wilson gets targets most weeks, so he seems a little more secure. I think Dortch is like a lower owned upside guy, maybe. Yeah, I fucking knew it, dude. I knew it. I fucking knew it. Sorry, but I'm going to keep saying that because I did. I fucking knew it. Such a dumbass. All right. This is mostly where I want to go. Oh, yeah. The last thing I wanted to show you. That's right. I fucking almost forgot. Setting the total P owned is critical to everything that we're going to do. Now, it's not just about setting it up. It's about understanding why are we doing this. So first thing I'm going to do, I set my total P owned, and I'm going to sort. And the highest that I achieved in this run was 150%. How much Flacco is too much Flacco? Yeah. Getting 20% with the cap at the 6% ownership. I don't know what the cap at the 6% ownership is, but I think 20% is fine. I'll probably, for my favorite quarterbacks, when I'm running 150, I'll run about 20%. I'll be there with him and Brissett in that range this week. And a lot of it's just because I don't really like that many of the other quarterbacks. Remember, I didn't get too into player pool. We already talked about that during the Players Club. But like, yeah, Herbert, Brissett, Flacco, Herbert, Josh Allen, little Mahomes, some Purdy. This seems about right. With these guys, I'm not super excited about any of them. I think that's probably too much Dylan Gabriel, but I'm not going to talk you out of it. Silly for the millie. 120, I think Grim Aries is fine, but I'm also cool. So again, we tested what's our max P owned 150. Normally we say, all right, at minimum, cut 30% off of that. That puts you at no, I'm in the wrong spot. That puts you at 120, which would be a cap that would be set right here at projected ownership cap. Okay. But what I'm saying is you can go as low as 100. The lower we go, it actually starts to create more plus EV lineups, more aggressively high potential lineups, even though the vast majority are probably, it gets so off the chalk that it just, the lineups don't look as good to our eye, but it ends up performing really well, or it can. So I just set my ownership cap on this run because I want to see how different the run looks at 100%. So basically, when the total owned, the highest that I could achieve is 160. I'm going to slice 30% off of that straight off the bat and say 130 total P owned cap is a loose cap. If you want to get aggressive, go all the way down to 190, even 80%. And you have to think how you want to be as a player. The more aggressive you get with that ownership cap, the more aggressive you get, the more A, the lineups are going to look a little wacky, but B, you're going to be off the chalk. So you're not going to get any kind of chalk in the lineup. All these high-owned players that tend to actually fail, right? Like, how often does the chalk blow up in our face? Usually, right? So a lot of those guys will be pushed out of lineups in favor of different players and different names. So we got to think about how we feel about all of that. But overall, yeah, I think setting a restrictive cap is a good thing to do. Ownership cap. So I would even, test it at 90. Like this crazy 90%. What happens there? Yeah, play Mills and Nico. I'm going to play a little bit of Mills and Nico. I'm going to work that stack a little bit for sure. Not a ton, but I'm going to get it out there. All right, guys, that's it. Domination Station setup, NFL Week 11. We're ready to go. Basically, set this up, set your ownership cap. From here, just one little important note. We want to smash the refresh projections button tomorrow at some point. That's how you refresh the projections. So you're going to click the refresh button. It'll probably update ownerships. It'll update some props or whatever, and it'll just get you back in the flow for tomorrow. So for me and my run, I don't really have much more I'm going to do tonight. For the most of it, I'm going to wait till tomorrow, see what's going on, see if there's any news, any changes, anything like that. We're going to go. Yeah, it's Keon Coleman cut week. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Got to figure that one out too. So we'll get that figured out. We'll listen for any knowledge nuggets that just happen to come out. Oh, Woody Marks going to be the starter. Anything like that? Yes, let me know. So, yeah, let's get ready for NFL Week 12, guys. Helmets up. Let's crush it tomorrow. Good luck, everyone.